Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act pursuant to the Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press, and the Beacon was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, proclamation for Friends of Library Week. Come on down here, Gigi. All righty. How are you tonight? All right. Whereas Friends of the Ocean County Library branch raised money that enables our library to move from good to great, providing the resources for additional programming, much-needed equipment, support for children's summer reading, and special events throughout the year. Whereas the work for the Friends highlights on an ongoing basis the fact that our library is the cornerstone of the community, providing opportunities for all to engage in joy of learning, joy of lifelong learning, and connect with the thoughts and ideas from other ages past to the present. And whereas the Friends where the Friends understand the critical importance of well-funded libraries and advocate to ensure that our libraries get the resources it needs to provide a wide variety of services to all ages, including access to print, electronic materials, along with expert assistance in research, readers, advisory, and children's services. And whereas the Friends gift of their time and commit to library sets, an important example for all volunteerism leads to positive civic engagement and the betterment of our community. Now therefore be resolved that Mayor Timothy McDonald proclaims October 15th, 2015 to the 21st, 2023 as Friends of Libraries Week in Lacey Township, New Jersey, and urges everyone to join the Friends of the Library and thank them for all they do to make our library community so much better. There we go. You want to take a picture? Do we have to take a picture? No? Okay. All right. Just, I want to talk a little bit about because I am the chairman of the Ocean County Library Commission. I'm not.
Don't let that go to his head.
No, I'm not the boss. I'm not the boss. I'm not the boss. But I think if anybody investigated our library system, I think, Gigi, you would agree to this, it is one of the finest in the state. And in fact, what did we finish? 4th in the country, right?
For the IMLS award?
Yes, yeah, we were 4th in the country for our national award, one award that we'd won 17, 18 years ago. And we're one of the only library systems in the country that was duplicating it. In fact, I'm a little upset because we did lose to Long Branch. It bothers the heck out of me. But anyhow, no, I would encourage everybody to just go into the library, see what they have. And sometimes you don't even have to go into the library. You can get all the stuff, electronic books, music, videos, newspapers, everything you want off your computer or smartphone or whatever you use.
But come into the library.
But come into the library.
I would just like to say, Mayor, I encouraged my children when they were young, and I think the more, you still got to go back to those books and just look through
Oh,
the
the
books.
smell of
They
books
need-
is amazing.
They need to be there. So yes, the children need to be there for sure, you know? Thank you. That's it.
And
Thank you.
My one-year-old grandson goes, every Tuesday you guys have a music thing
Yes.
down there? Is it Tuesdays?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, I think? Yeah, 'cause-
Is wonderful.
yes,
We're going to be very sad when
Yes.
she retires.
and to watch him dance is amazing.
And I guess I should mention
Yeah,
that
your mom, yeah.
my mom is
Oh,
a founding member of the Friends of
Yes,
the
I
Library. She's
forget.
been doing it for 50 years in Amherst.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful?
All righty, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
I have nothing else to add on to this agenda, so at this moment, unless you guys do, we can make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn? Move it. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Adequate notice for this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act pursuant to the Public Laws of 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and Beacon and was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. Please rise for a salute to the flag and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Let me get these sides up so I don't fall out of the chair and fall in Amy's lap here. Your fiance will like that. Okay, first reading of ordinance 2023-28, amending chapter 269 to create new section 11 entitled Do Not Knock Registry.
Ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 269, Section 7, entitled Permit Fees, Expiration of Permits, Hours of Sale, amending Section 11 entitled Violations and Penalties to create new Section 11 now entitled Do Not Knock Registry, and amending and supplementing Chapter 269 with new Section 12 now entitled Violations and Penalties. This is the resolution. We talked about it a couple of meetings ago about creating a Do Not Knock Registry. Veronica and I looked at other towns. And we will be raising the fee for peddlers and solicitors that go door to door, but we will not be raising the fee for mobile food vendors like your ice cream trucks. And this will also create a registry where residents can come in and get a sticker to put on their window at a $5 filing fee, and then they will be added to the registry that we give to the police department.
Okay, this is being the first reading. I have to open this up, right?
No.
No? Okay, do I have a motion on this?
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes, first reading of ordinance 2023-29, amending chapter 323 to provide an additional stop and yield intersections.
Ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 323 of the Township Code of the Township of Lacey, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, so as to designate stop intersections within the Seabreeze-Lacey community in accordance with NJSA 39:5A. This is adding numerous stop signs and yields in the Seabreeze community.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes, second reading of ordinance 2023-20.
Sorry, we have an add-on for a first reading.
Oh.
It's not gonna be on there.
What's that?
It says not on there. I'm just gonna-
What's not on there?
This add-on for a first reading, so I'll put it right
Yeah,
here.
it's not on your list. It's an add-on that came in after the agendas were set.
This is the first reading?
Yes.
I'm going to read a first reading, and then that'll be our second reading.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
ordinance 2023-30, an ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the grant of a conservation restriction easement on block 1900, lot 2.02. This is for the Walters Phase 3 apartments. So we'll be granting this block and lot for wildlife mitigation credits, which are required by the state.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. I can go to this now?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Second reading of ordinance 2023-26, amending chapter 79 to create the position of assistant construction code official.
An ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 79 of the Township Code entitled Officers and Employees so as to create the position of Assistant Construction Code Official. Second reading, open the floor.
Any comment from the public on this application?
Seeing none, motion to close the floor?
Move it.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Second reading of ordinance 2023-27, amending an ordinance that determines salaries, wages, and compensation for employees.
Ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending an ordinance entitled An Ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, affixing and determining the salaries, wages, and compensation of the officers, employees, and members of the governing body of the township. Second reading, open the floor.
Any comment from the public on this?
Seeing none, motion to close the floor?
Move it.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-288, authorizing the appointment of a part-time clerk.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the employment of Eileen Bunn as part-time clerk for the Township of Lacey. This is for the Code Enforcement Office.
Motion?
Move it.
I know. Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-289, appointment of a regular member of the Zoning Board of Adjustments.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appointing John Downing as regular member to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. We had a resignation, so we're moving an alternate to a regular member.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-290, authorizing the agreement with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office for their move-over program.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the execution of an interlocal service agreement with the County of Ocean for the Prosecutor's Office Move Over Program.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-291, authorizing an agreement with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office for driving while intoxicated enforcement program.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the execution of an interlocal service agreement with the County of Ocean for police services for driving while intoxicated enforcement program.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-292, authorizing an agreement with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office for their drug recognition call-out program.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the execution of an interlocal service agreement with the County of Ocean for police services for the Drug Recognition Expert Call-Out Program.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-293, canceling taxes due for properties acquired by the township.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the tax collector to cancel taxes due for properties acquired by Lacey Township.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-294, authorizing the issuance of a duplicate tax sale certificate.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the issuance of a duplicate tax sale certificate pursuant to NJSA 54:5-52.1.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-295, authorizing tax collector to conduct electronic tax sale.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the tax collector to hold an electronic tax sale.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-296, authorizing the placement of a lien on block 1380, lot 25.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, accepting the certification of the Director of Public Works concerning the costs incurred in the removal of debris and cleaning up of a property located on Emerald Park Drive, and authorizing the placement of a lien against said property for said costs. This is block 1380, lot 25, in the amount of $147.71.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-297, authorizing the placement of a lien on block 168, lot 16.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, accepting the certification of the Director of Public Works concerning the costs incurred in the removal of debris and cleaning up of the property located on Anchor Way, and authorizing the placement of a lien against said property for said costs. This is for Block 168, Lot 16, in the amount of $252.50.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-298, authorizing the refund of deposit monies.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the refunds of deposits held for the use of municipal facilities.
Move it.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. Resolution 2023-299, authorizing the payment of township bills.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the payment of township bills.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. How much are we paying tonight?
This is $6,440,651.68.
Okay. Thank you. Monthly reports.
Sorry, I have some add-ons.
So,
I'm sorry.
She's really throwing me for a loop tonight.
Very sorry.
you can be fired.
Hostile work environment on TV.
Just keeping you on your toes. Resolution 2023-300, resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appointing school crossing guards for the Township of Lacey. We are appointing two substitute crossing guards.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
One more. Two more. Resolution 2023-301, resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing an agreement for reservation of land for use of critical wildlife habitat mitigation credits. This is so that we can sign an agreement for that first reading ordinance that we had for the credits for the Walters Phase 3 building.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes.
Resolution 2023-302, resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the convening of an, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we can do that one later,
It's our executive session.
which we'll do at the end of our meeting agenda.
We are all screwed up tonight. Okay. Monthly reports.
Okay, for the month of September, the municipal clerk's office collected receipts in the amount of $10,697.90. For the month of August, the municipal court collected receipts in the amount of $13,179.02. For the month of September, the Department of Community Development collected receipts in the amount of $40,616. For the month of September, the Public Works Department for road opening permits was $6,547.50, and recycling commodity in the amount of $1,766, and truck parking in the amount of $200. Motion to accept the reports is read.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me. Motion to approve the township meeting minutes from September 28, 2023.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the caucus meeting minutes from September 28, 2023.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me. Motion to approve raffle licenses for the Rotary Club of Forked River.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Comments from the committee. Deputy Mayor Kennis.
Thank you, Mayor. I was recently cleaning out my office and some of my files, and I came across an article that I kept from the Southern Ocean Times, and I just want to read a couple sentences out of it. It said, "The Lacey Township Committee voted recently to explore the possibility of improving the intersection of Haynes Street and Lake Barnegat Drive with turning lanes and a traffic light. The $3,900 engineering study, which the committee approved unanimously, will determine whether the intersection qualifies for a traffic light under state law. If the plan were to come to fruition after the study is conducted, the installation of the traffic light would cost between $100,000 and $125,000, Ms. LeRae said. But that figure would not include the property the township would have to buy in order to create the turning lanes. The township, the improvements would require the township to acquire land at the four corners of the intersection and property up and down Haynes to create the new lanes," which is exactly what happened. And the point why I bring this up is, not that anybody likes to play guessing games, but anybody care to guess the date of this article?
It had to be like 2018.
March 7th, 2015. So the point,
How much have the prices gone up?
the point is, that's how slow the wheels of government turns, and just how long we work on things to get them to come to fruition. That's a long time, and as you say, the light is still not there. It's supposed to be up this month or next month, but probably. But anyway, I just figured everybody would be interesting to hear that. So those are my comments.
Committeewoman Giuliano.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a lot tonight. I just wanted to say, sometimes people misunderstand things, and I want to make sure that the public out there knows that our fire companies are all volunteer. They do not get paid to work on fires. A lot of times people are under the assumption they come, if they've moved in here and they don't know this, that our fire companies are our paid districts. Well, they aren't, they're volunteers. So anytime that we can support them in any fundraising they're doing or any collections they're doing, I think as a township, that's something we should put our time into, because they save a lot of lives and they work very hard. And we appreciate them. It's also, October is also Fire Safety Month. They're around at our schools, showing the children different things that need to be thought of, and carefully handled. It is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so make sure you're taking care of yourself out there, women and men, too. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Cortello.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to start out tonight on a little bit of sad news. We had a tragedy in our town on October 7th. Lacey Township High School a young man who tended there, Deshaun Witter, passed away in a tragic car accident. Immediately, and I'm sure I'm not the only one sitting up here, reached out to Superintendent Pereira and just said, I know how this goes, do you have a trauma team in place, and do you have counselors? She said, yes, of course. And I said, well, when you have any other information, and if it's not still under investigation, and if I have permission, it's all the things you have to go through as an elected, or checklist, to make sure that you're not letting any information out that, that the prosecutors, it's under investigation, et cetera, et cetera. So the superintendent, who's very proactive and a wonderful person in our schools, she had said that there is a GoFundMe page set up for Deshaun, known as Day Day. And so if you Google it, it'll be one of the first hits. And also my comments tonight, I want to dovetail on what Committeewoman Giuliano had said. Tuesday night, about 48 hours ago, I guess it was about 9 o'clock at night, Assemblyman Rumpf and I went down to Waretown to the First Aid Squad. And I want to applaud the efforts of and thank publicly our 9th District, because there's New Jersey Bill A757, And what it does is it allows certain volunteer firefighters, rescue, and first aid members to claim $2,000 gross income and tax exemption. It just so happened that I was down there, I accompanied, the Assemblyman invited me. I went there to play a support role. It's the 9th District's bill. Of course, it's not mine or ours. But for them to have the insight, and they know how difficult it is to get volunteer firefighters, first aiders, to get people into a police department. We're blessed over here, like Committeewoman Giuliano says, but for them to come up with something like this, and what I said publicly down there when they wanted municipal input was, thank the gentleman sitting right there, and then write a letter of thanks to the 9th District, because this is a good impetus to get somebody in there. It's a very difficult job. You're seeing people at their absolute worst or dying in front of you. And to give them this small, which was originally $5,000, and I don't remember the backstory, and we have Senator Connors right here, but for this to be progressing now, and I'm so very hopeful that it becomes law, I want to thank the 9th District publicly for that. That's very important. Tomorrow morning, as I have done, God bless you.
Thank you, sorry.
Since inception of Central Ocean Business Association in 2017, when I was mayor, we'll be going there. Certainly be on behalf of the whole Township Committee, not just myself. We want to support our businesses in the string of pearl towns from the north part of Route 9 all the way down to Waretown, all of our municipalities here. And so we've done that, and we've spoken as mayors and committee people. We've streamlined a business application process. We have people in. We don't just shove a piece of paper and application under the glass. We get people in, we talk to them, we help them. We do all but make a business plan for them. So we want to be fertile ground for our businesses because we know that's important. It's our ratables. So Central Ocean Business, forward-thinking people like the folks to my left and to my right, too many to name, but they're sitting right here. They're wonderful people as far as nurturing business goes. And they're here to advocate for all of us, especially the taxpayers. In closing tonight, I'm sorry to be a little long-winded. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about a more macro, a world thing. Listen, we got to stand with Israel. What happened over there is an act of barbarism and terrorism, and to call it a freedom fight, to call it a political movement, to say it's over land, to change the words to try to win the argument for the sake of preserving someone's feeling. What happened over there was terror. And I hope that it doesn't happen over here again, but I'm very fearful because I'm hopeful that there's not a leadership vacuum. I'm hopeful that we stay strong and that we support our police and importantly, our intelligence organizations, because we all have skin in this game. And I don't want to see what happened over there happen over here. Thank you for the comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, a couple of things here. In my mailbox, I guess, the other day or so, got a resolution from the county commissioners, and I wanted to read it. I normally don't read it, but I think this one deserves to be read. And it talks about, this is Chairman Vicari, he says, where media reports on the Christmas tree list, a fund for legislators' pet project and other expenses that normally fall outside the line items of the annual budget revealed that Ocean County received $0 in 2023 from the state in their Christmas tree, whereas urban and city legislative districts received the bulk of $661.6 million that lawmakers earmarked for project in individual counties and towns. And whereas included on the list were funding for a new marina, swimming pool, and a dog park in northern New Jersey, Camden County received $64 million for new infrastructure projects, and Union County was second with $57.5 million. We didn't get a dime. So remember that in November. Okay, the other one is, we got something from Congressman Chris Smith. And as you all know, I had a meeting with him on a Saturday afternoon and got about 12 hours notice for the meeting to happen. So, and he wrote in here, he said, I told you he went from directly to Wine Streets and down to the Bayfront Park area. And he says there's a direct result on making inquiries to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to see if there's an authority under its purview which may offer relief to the homeowners in the areas. Just as soon as I have more information, I will get back in touch with you. In addition, I was pleased to discuss with you fiscal year 24 community projects funding request for $6 million for Railroad Avenue Extension Project. I am happy that the project has been approved by the committee for jurisdiction, and I'm hopeful that the funding will be included in the final appropriations law. I normally don't talk about this until it's a done deal, but since I saw it in the press release and he sent me the letter, I'll talk about it. It's 95% done. It's got to get to the appropriations. We got to get past this ridiculousness with the speaker, and we'll be fine. And moreover, as you requested, I'm researching the feasibility of reintroducing the Stranded Nuclear Waste Accountability Act of 2017, which was put forth by Congressman MacArthur at the time, which has not been reintroduced since its original introduction. That would be about, I think Veronica figured it out, about $15 million in our pocket. So this is a guy who's been, 2 years, our congressman? And doing wonders for us, working wonders for us, whereas the state of New Jersey, and we've been a county for a hell of a long time, kind of snubs its nose at us. So with that, I'm going to open it up to the public. Does the public have any comment here this evening? Barry, come on down. You're a starter tonight, Barry. Usually you're the closer.
Barry Bender, Forked River, south
Okay.
end of town. You were talking about the, oh God, I had it in my head, the bayfront,
Yes.
and I forgot, there was something in my head that
Oh,
popped in when you said that.
Can I?
Go ahead,
do
go ahead.
I just want to remind everybody, October 19th,
Next Thursday.
next Thursday night, down at the old community hall,
Yeah, you're allowed to use that?
We still own it. We closed it.
Okay.
is a meeting.
Not closed until next
Veronica,
year.
I didn't see
hold
anything
on.
happening there
Let me-
for a long
Veronica, you
time.
want to talk about the October 19th?
Well, it's a follow-up to the one that we had in the spring with regards to the dredging projects and obviously those 22 homes on the Bayside Beach properties that are eroding away into the
you
Barnegat
reminded me.
Bay.
It's back here.
So we've done a lot of work over the
Yeah.
spring and summer, met with a lot of officials, including Congressman Smith, and we've done some engineering work, so we have an update to provide to the residents that evening.
Sorry about that.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, I remembered what I was going to say.
Good.
And it has to do with that. Where they want to do the work, the 22 homes, okay, is a private beach club. So if they accept public money, they have to take the no trespassing signs down.
Well, we'll address that at the time if we get the money to be able to
Right.
do that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's
I know.
that part of the deal.
Yes,
That's-
exactly.
That's part of the deal. That's what was,
We're not sure
Yep.
what will really work to correct the problem. Will the
Right.
groin work? You just can't put the groin out there
No, you have to do the whole-
without saving because even if you filled that groin area in with sand, it's still going to shoal away. So you have to put some kind of shelf or something out in the water.
Mm-hmm. well,
to collect
that was
there.
the attempt with the HESCO baskets, but I don't know what it's doing because we don't hear anything about it.
There'll be an update on that as well.
That'll be
and
interesting.
there's-
I'll be there.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there'll be an update
A lot
on
of people
Pesco
will be there.
baskets.
You
and
sure I'll be
the
there?
Success of that, and they didn't get funding for phase 2 of that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, they left things out of Phase 1 that should have been in part of Phase 1.
Well,
And
there
that
will
was
be an update for that too there. that evening.
mismanagement on my estimation. So anyway, have a good night.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public?
Seeing none,
Okay.
Paul Dressler, Seabreeze, Forked River. Actually, wanted to talk a little bit about P3s as far as stuff as we know. It's been an ongoing concern. From some people, I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
I'd like to know, are you guys aware that they actually give out awards for P3s throughout the country each year?
Yes, yes. Other states have had it longer than New
Yeah,
Jersey,
I'd
correct.
like to go into some of them and actually talk about it. Each year, they actually do it in the fall in Washington DC. And last year, the state of Kentucky got 3 awards as far as stuff. One for expansions, office buildings in Frankfurt, and social infrastructure in Madison. Another for best utilities in the state of Texas, San Antonio got a thing for expanding pipeline 140 miles and improved the water system 20%. In the state of Virginia, there's an Interstate 66. They expanded that and improved it to make it safer. Hope I won't take up too much time.
No, take your time.
In the University of California, they spent $1.3 billion to enhance the students' buildings, labs, et cetera, as far as stuff like that. And lastly, in Ontario, Canada, Johnson Controls actually did a courthouse up there. It got it certified as far as stuff. And there's certifications up there to do it that have been going on as examples in Alberta, Canada, since 2010, as far as stuff like that, which some folks may not be aware of. I also went to some various states and looked at what their regulations, guidelines are. Georgia, and specifically, the good old state of New Jersey seemed to be the toughest.
Of course.
Let me just see if I can see better. The law was actually started on August 14th, 2018 by Governor Murphy. The law tasks the Department of Treasury coordinating with the review and approval of these projects. Included in the review, the analysis must be done by a P3 advisor selected by the pool, qualified and vetted by the Office of Finance. The project is then also reviewed for sister agencies, which I can name, but I'll just give that to you as far as stuff like that goes. The application, which when you go, just some of the things you talk about, you have to have a description of the project, its purpose, why it's needed, justification why the P3 delivery method is advantageous, estimated costs, financial documentation showing of the underlying financial models, assuming that the determined estimated costs, including long range, and you have to have a maintenance plan as far as stuff. You must have a performance monitoring plan to make sure the project goes along correctly, and documentation of public vetting of the project, including applicable hearings, and where relevant, a resolution by the governing body, and then information on experts retained, as well as their qualification in industry expertise. So you guys, I commend what you guys are trying to do, because nobody in the state's got one yet as far as stuff like that. It'd be nice if we were the first.
That's right.
It'd be great as far as stuff, maybe more people, more businesses want to move into the town. It'd be a feather in your guys' cap.
We're trying, Paul.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate your
you
comments.
looking into it.
Anyone else from the public? Mr. Bidnick, come on down.
A couple things I wanted to mention tonight. Good evening, Lacey citizens, mayor, and council. Earlier, you gave a citation to the library. I don't know if a lot of people in this town know this, but I'm a former library director. I was also the state librarian of Rhode Island. I was the youngest person ever in the United States appointed to such a position by the Secretary of State. And I just want to say stuff about the parents who are not here tonight, but who watch these videos at home. It's really important to bring your children to the library when they're young, especially for story hour programs, because that's where the children become, they get hooked. And once you get hooked as a child, you become a library user for the rest of your life. Libraries changed my life. They basically allowed me to want to travel all over the world, to be interested in economics and history and music and everything else. So that's why I ended up working in one and running them, because it's been an inspiration for me. And I think it's really important, because we pay for it in our taxes, that people actually use it for many reasons. And I'm not only talking about the children, but libraries since COVID, I've noticed a change in our own library. The usage is much lower than it used to be. I mean, I go in there a lot to borrow films and books and stuff, and I can just see the big difference. Before COVID, they used to use the computers all the time. Now you go in there, there's barely anybody in there. So I'm encouraging people, we're paying for this. Please use it. It's a great asset for our community.
You know what I think some of that is, and I agree with you on it, how quiet the library has become. I think we're sometimes our own worst enemies because we've become so technology-driven that I really don't go to the library that much anymore either because I do my books online through Hoopla or Libby through the Ocean County Library
Right.
system. So I can just download my books onto my Kindle, same with movies, and I don't have to go to the library anymore.
You're absolutely right. The numbers are down. We do look at those numbers on a quarterly basis.
Oh, yeah.
The commission does.
Sure.
We're trying to figure out ways to
Track them back.
attract people back to it.
Yeah.
And we have some ideas, so we'll see if we can't put them to
Well-
work in 2024.
The important thing to remember, too, is that libraries are not libraries any longer.
Right.
They're now cultural centers. And what they need to do, and what I was doing up in my last position in Vermont, was basically promoting programs, arts, history, having speakers come in, authors come in, all types of things that deal with culture and music and such, so that the library becomes a vibrant place and is constantly used, not only just for books
Right.
and movies and that type of thing.
If you go on to the main library website, you will see that usually on a monthly basis, we have 22 libraries.
Yeah.
Somebody's got something going on somewhere
Oh, yeah.
culturally wise, so.
No, there's
And we're trying to bring in more. It's
No,
just,
Ocean County Library is a great library system. Elaine McConnell, who was one of my colleagues, and she's the one who really expanded the entire county system during her reign as the director, did an outstanding job. I mean, we have a great county library system in the state. So
I have fond memories. That's why I brought it up when she was here, because I have fond memories of going there with the kids when they were little. Actually, the Bender's children and my children would go there together. We were actively involved bringing our children to that. So,
Right.
it's a good memory. Let's
yeah,
put
it
that
is.
way.
So building memories for the
Yep.
future. So use the library, everybody.
Yes.
So the other thing is, a question I have is about the municipal complex thing. Now, isn't tomorrow the Treasury submission date for October the 13th, if I'm not mistaken?
There is, I've looked into that deadline thing, and it doesn't apply to that. It didn't apply to that. I have checked with the P3, and there is no Treasury submission deadline to do that.
But what was it within 180 days?
It was 180 days from when we had to act within 180 days of receiving our unsolicited proposal.
Okay, so that's all that has to do with.
Yeah, that's all that has
All
to
right,
do with it.
and so-
Double checked that because I was like, wait a minute here.
Yeah, right, okay, so that's
I
why.
do remember the time frame being in
Right,
there, so you are
yes.
correct about that.
Okay, very good. So the other thing I have a question on is, this is at the back of my list here, is what is going on with the Lacey Environmental Commission?
Well,
we have,
Mr. Kennis, why don't you give an update of what we tried to do?
Yeah, we tried to get, more people involved. We have a hard time getting people to show up to the meetings. We appointed somebody, we do have a new president, if you will. This is a while ago, but we haven't been meeting.
She was.
Okay, so that was it. So what is going on with it? Is the status and?
So generally, there's a couple of boards in town like this where we have, what's the best way to say it? So, we appoint people to some of these boards, but then you can't get the members to show up.
Right.
And then when we try to fill the positions, those members don't show up either. So so the person that's in charge of running those meetings and, feels like they're wasting their time.
Okay, so, because in a lot of communities, actually, the Environmental Commission has a lot of say over the future development and such. And the reason why I'm saying this is that maybe we need to get a more active Lacey Environmental Commission working. I mean, I would gladly be involved in that.
Mr. Bidnick, if I could, and I don't want to overspeak the mayor, it goes through the mayor, but I was there several years ago with now Deputy Mayor Kennis. We interviewed people. We sat with a young lady whose name does escape me right now. She was very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And we give the folks the keys. We make the appointments, an extensive appointment list, I might add, on January 1st.
Okay.
And you know that we care about the environment. I'm at Public Health. I mean, these are people that have been here for many, great many years. So,
Right.
We want them to be successful. We can't pay them. We want them to come in. We want them to create and share agendas and to make coalitions. And
Right.
sometimes it just doesn't materialize that way.
Right, but is there actually an active commission with
I don't
appointees
think
on
it
it?
hasn't been
Well,
a meeting.
It's
there-
not
in a
an
while.
active commission.
Okay, so if I were to get a whole bunch of people who are interested in being involved and who live in this town who are supportive of that, you people would be interested in appointing people that will actually be able to fill the positions and actually be
That would-
make it active?
hold on, that would depend, they're appointed for X amount of years, so.
I understand.
So depending on how many people would be coming off, so we only have 2 coming off this year, we'd only be able to appoint 2.
And I was going to say, the people that are on there are like, they're still
They still have
appointed.
terms.
Right,
They're on terms, you
But
know,
they're
the
not
last, but the last.
actively meeting is what you're saying?
right,
But the
right.
last, but we've gone through this before. So, so typically what happens, if you're interested, submit your resume.
Okay.
Come January, or prior to January.
Right.
We usually do this in December. Veronica will reach out, see if there's any vacancies. Veronica will reach out to the current members to see if they're still interested in serving, and then we sort of take it from there.
Okay, very good. So was one of my questions. So the reason I was bringing this up too is there was an article that came out of the Patch, I guess it was yesterday. Carpet outlet to be raised, townhouses to be built in Lacey. The zoning board approved an application to construct 9 housing units on one property and add a second floor to the Main Street laundromat. Now, as you know, I've been speaking out, especially the last 2 years, about all the overdevelopment. And so I decided to go through. It was posted on, Lacey, New Jersey. It was posted on Lacey Matters, Lacey Uncensored pages, and to see what our citizens in this town are thinking about what you're doing. So I went ahead and I took the list, and I'm going to read what the public has stated by their name. And I just want you to understand when I come up here and I speak, because I do consider myself to be one of the public's advocates, that it's not only me who's speaking. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions. So the first person was a Matthew Schackenberg, and he said, "This is getting out of hand, so unnecessary. Who's approving all this? The town doesn't have the infrastructure to handle the population, and someone is getting paid." Lynn Marie, "You can barely get down Route 9 now. What are they thinking? Somebody must be profiting from this." Susan McMiniman, "How will the school system handle this continuing growth? School taxes will have to go up. They're ruining Lacey, spending like our government. What a darn shame what this town is becoming, and while we're at it, let's add another fast food establishment." Jennifer Bentley, "That should have been a hard no. There is not enough room on those lots, and traffic is already horrific there." While our township administrator, Veronica, feels that we can't stop growth, but I'm sure it all can be rezoned so it isn't built on. Okay, Mike Kelly, "It seems the more they build, the higher the taxes. What about us seniors who depend on our Social Security each month to survive? The COLA doesn't cover the tax increases. Lacey's a great town. Maybe we need a new government body to survive and stay in our great little town." Dean Abramo, "It's so sad. This was once a nice, relatively quiet place to live. That's all over now." Elaine Brandt, "I think we need to vote some people out. Some of the people have been in positions way too long. Start from the top down." Rachel Clemmer, "Building needs to stop." Charlotte Shernack Hotlering, "Ridiculous. It's going to look like a city. Soon I hate what is happening to our nice little town." Ellen Quinn, "Just what we need. Route 9 is congested enough, but too many people in the same small area of town. Politicians, get real, will ya? Greed, greed, greed. Will be another Lakewood the way things are going." Gavin Rossi, "It takes like 20 minutes to go up Route 9. Get ready for more traffic. I'm only 26, but I see the character of our town getting destroyed, so a bunch of greedy developers can make more money. Enough is enough." Paula Hicks, "How is there even room over there for apartments? Where are they going to park? What about the congestion that's constantly in front of those areas? It's always bumper to bumper. Why do they keep building apartments on Route 9? Sil Brazil, "It's getting ridiculous. People vote, vote, vote." Richard Frey, "Absolutely. The township stated with all the buildings approved that taxes would not go up, they would be reduced. Not. If the township would stop voting raises for themselves, this might at least halt the taxes for a while." I'm not sure about that. Gail Taylor, "Yep, town cannot handle the traffic, for one, and Walmart is bringing in trash. Been here 50 years plus and missed the way it was." Steve Adams, "We have become brick. Very sad what has happened to this town." Hayden Daly, "Are you kidding me? I'm not even going to bother taking 9. That's the final straw. It's already gridlock almost 24/7 south of Acme. Bozo's in charge. Barbara Kessler, the congestion in Route 9 is already horrendous. With these additions, there will be more gridlock and accidents. Think the planning board needs to address the traffic issue and what will be done about that. Vincinski Matthew, yeah, town is in major trouble. If there's a natural disaster, everything is too tight. We'll only be able to leave by boat or motorcycle. Charlie Wolk, yes, this is nuts. It's out of hand because they do it backwards. The roads cannot handle the increase, nor can the schools. Next, our taxes will go way, way up because they will need to build larger schools. It's already a traffic nightmare on Route 9 and Lacey Road during the rush hours. Sharon Margaret. And the state has said for decades they will not widen Route 9 in this area. Elaine Brandt, the mayor and our council need to go. Barbara Kessler, the congestion on Route 9 is already horrendous. With these additions, there'll be more gridlock and accidents. What are we all going to do? Gavin Rossi, again, commenting on another comment. My approximate count, if they're to be trusted, are close to 500 units between Laurel Boulevard and Applebee's on Route 9. That's less than 2.5 miles and 1,000 more cars on conservative side, give or take. There's barely any ratables except for the breaks the developers get for throwing a handful of affordable houses in them, meaning all rentals. No money for schools who are already financially gutted and bursting at the seams. We need more people like you to start putting on the hip waters. Okay. Curry Farley just went down the rabbit hole of the new inland flood projection rule. Amazing how so many of these high-density housing projects were built in vulnerable areas were shoved through just in the nick of time. 3 major approvals of hundreds of units in 9 months, grandfathered in before July 17th, 2023 deadline. And I could go on and on and on, but I don't think I need to because I think the point has been well made. There are a lot of people in this town who are very unhappy with the overdevelopment. And we don't like the traffic. Those of us who moved here, like I did 18 years ago, to escape that, am now having to endure it all over again in the community that I chose to build my own home. Now, I have some suggestions for you. Some of you are probably going to find this to be extremely uncomfortable, but quite frankly, there are things that this government body could do. First of all, we could make this an unfriendly town for new development. And there's a way of doing that by saying that we're not going to make things easy for you. That if you do try to get a variance, we will fight you tooth and nail on every variance. Now, I'm going to tell you just even about housing development in this town. When I built my house in 2005, I had to get a variance. It was only because it was an unusually shaped lot, not because I wasn't making any setbacks. There are houses that are being built in this town now. In this town, as everybody knows, I walk many miles every day, that are breaking every setback on corner lots. They're not far enough back. They're in the front settings, the back settings, the side settings. Every setting is being broken to accommodate the builders, okay? Which is changing and ruining the character of our town, okay? And I understand you're just trying to continue to get more money and more taxes, from ratables and such. But in the end, is anyone really thinking about the quality of life for the people who live here already? Are you really thinking about that? Are you thinking about the people who are elderly too, who have to deal with all this traffic now that we have on Route 9 that's really horrendous? Is anybody really looking out for the people instead of maybe looking out for their own interests? And again, you are political officials, and I'm going to remind you this in a very nice way. You are elected to office to represent the needs of the people of this community. You are to listen to the needs of the people of this community. You are to act on the needs of the people of this community. It is not for you to sit up there and dictate to us. It is for the public to sit here and dictate to you. And I'm trying to say this in a very nice, professional way, because I don't know anybody personally, and this is never a personal issue with me. So, as an advocate for our community, and someone who's very passionate about keeping our town as nice as it can, I think you need to rethink what you're doing. And I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of people because I do talk to a lot of people that you don't talk to, a lot of people who do not come to these meetings and who are afraid to get up here and speak. So they count on people like me to do the work for them. I have a voice, I have a good voice, and I'm willing to use it for the things I feel are important. Our schools, which I think are failing, and the changes that are happening here in this town. I hope that you will listen on a lot of these issues. You also have an agenda that's going on with wanting to spend a lot of money on a new township municipal complex, which has no support. I mean, if you've read the articles that have been posted on all the social media, you'll see over and over and over and over again that you are building animosity. And I can say this, anger is the big impetus for change. And in politics, it's anger that moves and shakes everything. And people are getting very angry because they feel that their political officials are not listening to them. So I'm giving you a friendly hint. Things will continue to boil over if you continue to move forward on this path that you're going. And there are people in this town who do really care about the quality of life for our citizens. And I'm asking you again, in a very nice way, in a professional way, that you start adhering to the needs of the people who you work for. Thank you very much.
Okay. You wanna take this or want me to? Let me just talk a little bit what Mr. Bidnick had to say. I was chairman of the Board of Adjustment in this town for over 20 years. There is a case called Downmeyer versus the Lacey Township Board of Adjustment that went all the way to the state Supreme Court. The law is very simple. If they can build on it and get variances, you got to let them build. It's almost impossible. There's another case up there called the Nash decision, which is highest and best use. If you have a piece of property in this town, or in any town, in the state of New Jersey or anywhere, and that municipality prohibits you by zoning or whatever other means they figure it out to prohibit you from building, that is against the law. Absolutely. And not only that, not only is it against the law, is if Mr. Kennis was building on a lot and we prohibited, and he had 10 houses, and he said the value of that property was $1 million, by law, we would have to buy that property at fair market value. So I agree with you in some cases, with the 40 by 100 foot lots, mostly in the Pines. This township back in the 80s had a referendum on that, and it was defeated. We wanted to go out and buy all of the 40 by 100 foot lots. It got crushed, got absolutely crushed. We have to follow the law. The Board of Adjustment has to follow the law. It's as simple as that. And the other thing is, well, I agree with you, the traffic in this town is a disaster. However, you cannot, by law, take that into consideration when you are considering these applications. So that's, again, we got to get this straightened out, and I'm going to let Mr. Connors talk a little bit more about it if he wants.
You're accurate in what you've stated. If Mr. Bidnick feels the way he does, you can imagine how I feel, having grown up in this area since 1956 and seeing the hundreds of thousands of people that moved to Ocean County. Now, you escaped the northern part of the state where all the traffic congestion was to come down here, but never given two thoughts about your moving down here might have been a house that was created on a lot that you built on. Where does it stop? When I was a mayor in 1986, Pheasant Run Community was built, 440 units or 448 units. There was a lot of people that didn't want Pheasant Run Community built because it was right on the edge of the pine lands where we had freshwater wetlands and so forth. But it's an adult community, and it's a good community. If we had that way of thinking of not allowing any more people to come into Lacey Township, we wouldn't have the Seabreeze community. What do we tell the people there that moved from wherever they were moving to escape just as you did? Now, I hope you see the correlation. You originally came up here and you talked about the library and how great the library was. It was a focus of education and learning. Perhaps the books that we ought to be putting in a public library are law books that show the fact that if you, by government, tell someone that they can't use the land, you bought it. That's what we need to do to educate people. Mr. Bidnick, you ought to be out educating people. All those people that you read, you should be contacting and telling them that while they feel this frustration, as I do, I would like to think I was the last person to move into Lacey Township, but I'm not. You are enjoying Lacey Township. Why shouldn't other people enjoy Lacey Township? And until you're ready to put up a referendum that buys every piece of property along Route 9 and spend hundreds of millions of dollars to prevent the construction from going on, it's going to happen. Unfortunately, it is going to happen. And so, you can't implore the governing body to put forth zoning laws that zone into inutility people's property. There's the Riggs case as well, which says that if you zone to devalue somebody's land, guess what? You got a problem. You're going to buy it. All right, so we have Dahlmeyer, we have Riggs, we got a lot of case law that narrowly circumscribes the authority of the governing body and what they can do. And they do the best job they can. But let us not be so selfish to think that we're the only people that can enjoy the amenities here in Lacey Township, and enough people have come in, and that's it. If we could pull up the bridge, that'd be fine. But we simply can't do that. And you need to educate people out there that just simply are ignorant to the law as to what the law says.
Right, but you have ordinances in place, and you should make every single person that's going to come through have to follow every one of those variances and not break the
So I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely,
Since-
absolutely.
If you built your house on a variance lot, your lot is as illegal as every undersized lot in township.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you're on a legal lot.
Every setback.
You broke one setback, you broke the variance rules. So you should have been denied. By your logic, I don't care if you got a variance on your lot, you're as illegal as every undersized lot in township. If you needed a variance, you shouldn't be here then, by your logic.
Well, that's good. Thanks for telling me about it.
But understand, Mr. Bidnick, I don't want to argue with
Right,
you.
it's not about-
And I enjoy the fact that you come up, you're very respectful, you have an opinion, you're entitled to that opinion. But my frustration, you can sense my frustration, because I've heard it a lot. I've been in public office a long time, and I hear constantly people that want to make remarks about their public officials, throw them out, do this, do that, and simply don't understand what it is that restrict governing body members from doing things that in a manner that may not be the way they want it to be done. And so I wish there was not another person to come into Lacey Township. I wish that the problem, but unfortunately, and I've seen it, it's caused a degradation of the bay. We've got less woodlands. We've got, and so in Berkeley Township, just recently, they advocated to purchase through the Lands and Trust to build a large section, or to preserve a large section off of Route 9. The mayor and members of council showed up at a freeholder commissioners meeting to advocate $5 million, I think, is what the Lands for Trust is going to spend to buy it. That gives you an example of the cost. And why? Because we got too much traffic on Route 9, and we want to stop the traffic. And I'd rather see grass in a park there than I would see houses there. I think we want the same thing. I would like to live in the world that you like that you see, but the problem is, in many cases, our hands are tied, and we do the best job that we possibly can. And maybe there are some aspects that we can fine tune, but I understand it. I mean, I'm not talking I'm talking as a township attorney and caution this governing body as to what they can do, but I'm also talking as a resident of town, and I'm also talking as a former mayor in the town. The 11 acres that it's out at the end of Forked River Beach was acquired during the time that I was mayor. It was the last undeveloped piece on Barnegat Bay. There were people that signed petitions and advocated against buying that land. There were people that came into this room and said, we're spending taxpayers' money to buy land, and what are you going to do with it? I don't intend to do anything with it. You know why I buy it? So nobody else could do anything with it. And there's an equal number of people that get out there and shake your finger, shake your fist for doing that.
Well, my question for you is, how do towns like Essex Fells and Upper Saddle River and all them have completely residential
Money. Money. Upper Saddle River, one of the richest communities in all the state of New Jersey.
How is it that they can, make the town spatial, which is just totally residential, and you're saying that that's not allowed in the state of New Jersey? I just.
No, you can, and they've done it in the Pinelands. You need 2 acres, or what is the acres requirement
It
in the
depends
Pinelands?
on which zone, 2 up to 17.
But if you did it now, after people already own it, it's a much different story. Upper Saddle River was a very rural at one time, bordering the New York border. There was, just mountainous up there. And a lot of money got back there, and they created what might be considered an exclusive community. And I don't think, and I don't think they're probably under the same pressure that we are for the low and moderate income housing. It's another thing that's a stranglehold.
Yes.
Right.
Another thing is a
And
stranglehold.
we're not to blame for that. That's state.
Also based on your continuing growth in your population. So the more people you bring in, the more you're going to have to continue to expand upon that. Those numbers are all based on your population hold that you have. So future growth I'm talking about for your.
That's yes and no.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, no,
gonna say
the
it's
laws
a-
changed a little bit with that.
Now,
We're
if I
mostly-
said yes or no, you'd say that's a lawyer talking.
We're mostly,
$150.
I charge, that's $150.
there's very little outside of Walters Homes. We negotiated it down. I think we've talked about this in past meetings. We're on past
Right, we're
COA numbers.
COA
So our
numbers,
past, it was something like, it was an insane number, like 5,000 units or
Mm-hmm.
2,500. We negotiated that down. We did a great job, I think. We negotiated down to 300 units. It went from, I don't remember, 2,500, 5,000 units down to 300 units, which was mostly there. Now, anything that comes along, yeah, they have to build a 10% set aside, but that's.
Or they pay into the COA fund. They don't necessarily have to build.
That's a minor, it's minor in the whole scheme of things.
What is that cost, like you said, the COA fund? What is that? Is it a percentage
It's a percentage of all new construction,
of the whole construction?
all new construction,
All new construction?
commercial and residential,
Okay.
and rehab, I believe.
Yes.
So if you
for example, the condos that you were talking about on Bay Avenue, he's not building his affordables. He's going to put money into the fund, and he's going to probably put like $350,000 into the fund instead of building the affordables.
But is that based on the number of units and the size of the lot? That's what I'm trying.
It's based on I believe, on the assessment, and it's, the percentages are set by the state, meaning that it's like something like, I forget commercial, like 2% of the assessed value of the project. Or if it was a house, I think it's if a residential, I think it's 1% of the assessed value of a house.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything to say?
Thank you, though, for your comment. Thank you.
Yes.
Let this lady come on up.
My name is Linda Miller. I live in Forkett River. I've resided here for 50 years, so I've seen a lot of changes. I'm probably going to read most of my notes because I'm nervous.
Go, take
It's
it,
okay.
relax,
Take your
relax.
time. Okay, so, and I do want to say that I moved to Lacey from a farm in Pennsylvania. I thought Lacey was wonderful because it was small and farmish.
Yes.
And so I didn't move here to get out of traffic. But regardless, there's traffic everywhere. Okay, so first of all, I did hear you say that the governing body is an advocate for we the taxpayers. Okay, so I'm just going to recap about the new municipal complex that I am not in favor of. So at 6% interest on $50 million, to me, $1 million is like, I don't even know what that looks like. So that would be the minimum. And the cost would be $300,000 a month to pay for that, or $3,600,000. $3,600,000.
Got it.
600,000.
Right.
And that would be per year. So after 30 years is up, we would have paid $108 million And this is at 6% simple interest. So we know that interest rates are always going up. They're never going to go down in this economy. So at the end of this long-range time, it probably would double because the 50 million is just the bottom amount of money that we will spend. Probably will be 100 million. So at the end of 30 years, it's going to be $216 million long range. It's a lot of money. I won't be here. The interest rates are at a 25-year high, and they're climbing. According to the talking heads and the experts on TV, is this the time for large-scale borrowing? Experts say no. And many of my neighbors say no. I've got to know my neighbors. This project probably is a good, for me, I don't really want the project, but I've learned to know a lot of my neighbors because I've been going door to door for the last few weeks, talking to my neighbors, people I don't even know, but now they know me. And almost everyone I approached didn't know anything about it. And the 5 people I approached out of the 25 people that I talked to, they heard about it but didn't really know about it. And when I explained to what I had learned here, they were all opposed. I tried to encourage them to come to the meeting so that they could, you could see that there are people in the community that really don't want this. But as you can see, I'm glad Richard talked about the people putting their comments online, because this is a world of computers and not talking one-to-one. So there's the point he proved that there's a lot of people that really do not want this. So are you forging ahead with this huge spending boondoggle? Please refresh my memory. How will this benefit our community and the people that put you in the place, in your position, to take care of our town? So how will this help our town? What will it give me as a taxpayer to look at millions of dollars being spent for what, a building? Yeah, I know we need maybe a bigger police station, but the new municipal building and the sports complex. Can you tell me what it'll do for me and the people in our town? Have you actually told us that, and I just forgot?
Sure, that's, okay. We need a new, you agree we need a new police department. There's no question about that. We're getting pressure from the state that we need to do one, okay? This building has got a lot of problems. The last couple of weeks of the rainstorms we had, we discovered two new leaks, okay? And we have a drainage, a foundation problem, okay? So we've got to do something. We got to do something here. The idea was, and we still haven't made a decision yet, was what would it take to retro this building? Minimum is $34 million. That includes retroing the police department at the same time, okay? That's a minimum, but we know that we didn't include the rental of the trailers, all the other stuff that goes with it. Why, this is a 3-year project where they retrofit it. We still got to pay for all that. So the reality is it's probably closer to 40 billion, okay? So, no, wait, I'm not, closer to that, I would say. By doing this, then we take this 6-acre lot, I believe it's 6 acres, and we redevelop it. So now it's bringing in more tax revenue, and we're spreading the tax base out. So are taxes going to go up? Yes, they always go up, they don't ever go down. But if we spread it out over more people or more units, businesses come in, then it doesn't hit you as hard as if we don't have them. Let me give you an example. TD Bank, down in the corner there, 5 years ago when I pulled it, was paying about $54,000 in real estate taxes. Mr. Kennis last meeting, said the average was 62
What's that?
taxes,
6,700.
$6,700. So divide that into 45. Businesses have no impact on the schools, okay? They usually take care of their own snow plowing and stuff like that, where homes we gotta plow. So by doing this and trying to attract new businesses into town, we can keep the rate of increase in the taxes lower. That's the whole gist of behind this.
Okay, but we just talked about bringing more businesses into the town, more traffic, and all those things that we people that have lived here all this time like our town the way it is. And how much did you say it would be to redo this building and make a new police station?
Not a new
No,
one.
no, that doesn't.
Renovate both.
Okay, renovate both.
34 million was the low number we got right now.
Well, 34 million sounds a lot better to me.
But that's before we know, once we open up the building and the grounds,
Right.
what we're gonna face. We don't know that yet.
Right.
Because this is on an old
And
landfill.
it still works the same way. I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody in the committee. It's not, it's my taxpayer dollars too. I've been in town for as long as you have, been here since 1971. And in my opinion, because we do this regularly, we Band-Aid stuff. And I think it's a bigger waste of money. And again, we don't have the finances firmed up. You're putting your numbers out there, but we don't know what the numbers are going to be yet because we didn't, they're working on it, but they're not finalized. So there's nothing there's nothing to present. But in my opinion, spending, I don't pick a number, $20 million to retrofit this building and the police station or something like that is a big, as a waste of taxpayer money as well.
Okay, well, my opinion is that my home is probably just as old as, it's older than me. Well, maybe not, yeah, older than me. And I've taken care of my property, and I've fixed it up all these years, little by little, to take good care of it. And so I just don't think the community should be charged for a building that maybe hasn't been maintained properly. So that's just my opinion. But I do want to ask another question. The veterans and the food bank,
Yes.
how are they doing sharing that building?
Well, they haven't been moved in yet. We're doing we're making all the renovations. We have, because VetWorks has not been pushed out, as people think that might have happened. Okay, that's not been pushed out yet. We're working on the food bank building to accommodate VetWorks as best as they want it. How they've come in with us and we've discussed what they want, where they want, and we've allowed them to dream their dream as how it should be for them. So we're working on that right now.
How does the food bank feel about that?
No, I have to tell you something. The food bank we got very good
We walked in
comments
there,
from
and
them.
they were already telling us how it was
How
going to
they-
be done.
Oh, good.
They
Right?
shared the building before.
Yes, this is
With the
new.
school board.
Yes.
So it was already a shared
Shared
facility, and then when the school board moved the one classroom out, we just allowed them to take over the whole building.
Yes. And we, there's a purpose to everything, just so you understand. We own the building as a township, not we. The township owns that building, right? And it needs a new roof. So, it's like one hand washing the other. We're all trying to work together and put a whole new roof on it because they don't feel it's their responsibility to put a new roof on the building. So we will take on that responsibility and try to work with them to get everything, to make everybody happy, whether it's the food bank and the VetWorks. We're trying to keep everybody. Listen, I saw a sign that I, really, it was disrespectful, I'll say it that way, that we kick them to the curb, okay? It's so sad, like, you're standing there and you're saying about how Mr. Bidnick read all these comments that people said. I think it's great that people are allowed to speak and speak up for themselves and say what they want to say, but sometimes they need to remember that we're all human beings and that we all have a place here, okay? And to say things that aren't true, sometimes it's kind of disrespectful, and they also don't know sometimes the things they're saying are not true, okay? I mean, I read a comment along the way here that we have health benefits, we have cars, we have gas cards, we get raises every year. All a lie. We don't have a car, we don't have gas cards, we don't have health benefits. Yes, we get a flat rate for the year, okay? But I will tell you that the five of us that sit up here, I'm not including the lawyer or our two ladies, I'm telling you that we spend most of that money back into this town, okay? By all our fundraisers in this town that we all attend, we try to get to everything we possibly can to donate it back, because it's not about the money, even though people think we're lining our pockets. I'm not quite sure where that comes from, but I hear that all the time. I'm not sure how I'm lining my pocket, but I'm new man here on the totem pole, and I'm trying to do the best I can to. One other thing we all need to always remember out there is that a lot is set into place for us. It's not like we come up here and we say, this is the way it's going to be done. You know what? We get laws and rules and regulations handed to us, just like with our police station. Something has to be done because it can't continue the way it is.
Well, I'm in agreement with that and the police station, but all the rest of it, I'm not in agreement, and I think most of the people in the town are not, because to me, it's a lot easier to fix a roof and a leak and this, and it's just not a million.
I would agree with you. Normally, I would say that to you, but even like today, I was in a meeting with our firemen, and everything has tripled in prices.
Exactly.
Okay,
Not tripling.
but here's the thing, it's like, so and again, we have not made a decision about anything. Nothing has been put in stone, okay? So let's be very clear about that. But it's like anything. If we don't start making decisions now and wait another 5 years to make a decision, you know what the prices are going to be like in 5 years from now at the rate we're going?
Yes, we do know that.
And so
Interest rates and the money we
And I made this point last week, if whatever we wind up doing is a fixed cost, and our last meeting's, my last meeting's comments, the pressure, I have my notes from last week, generally fixed costs are not what causes upward pressure on our tax bills. The proposed municipal building, police station, and rec center will have a fixed cost life cycle of 30 or 40 years. Most of our expenditures come from, during our budget meetings, is a never-ending supply of wants and needs and mandates and contractual obligations. Those are all variable costs, and those are what cause the upward pressure on our tax bills. It's not fixed costs, generally.
So true.
And if I could jump in, Madam, you had referenced the quality of life and the traffic. I've heard that mentioned several times. Now, we just want to inform all of our listeners, those within earshot of our voices and those here now and eyeshot. Ours is a town, as I had referenced last meeting, of 86 square miles. The majority of our town, when you get off of Parkway exit 74 and you make a left, we cannot build. Now, we have been approached, to the best of my knowledge, I don't recall the exact companies. Certain folks wanted to build housing developments out there over the years. That is protected pinelands, the vast majority. We have 86 square miles, so the vast majority. I challenge anyone to come up to the microphone, tell me another town of our 565 municipalities in this state that has more protected land than that. Now, you dovetail that with towns to the north of us. We talked tonight about Coalition on Affordable Housing, a state law, and they require us. And now, one of those provisos in there, as Mr. Kennis has educated me years ago, is that these housing developments need to be right near public transportation. That really puts the chains on us. And what that does is it requires us to put some of these things on a Route 9 corridor. We have very few business corridors, and you heard the mayor say a few minutes ago, and astutely at the last meeting, $54,000 just from one business. If we change the face, and we keep residential areas residential, and if we're able to take and mold and cultivate businesses, What that'll do, and you heard the mayor say it, is really spread out the tax base. Right now, we can turn we have an opportunity here to change the face of the town, bring some businesses in, and then get those ratables. I don't particularly think that and I'm not a land use professional, my expertise are in other areas. I don't think this building is well situated. This is prime real estate, right next to a driveway for the Garden State Parkway. I'd like to see businesses over here. And listen, I am fiscally responsible, because one thing I hate in my own house, when I go home and I write checks tonight for the phone bill and things like that, I'm old-fashioned, I don't do really too much online banking, I like to write checks. I don't like throwing good money after bad. Every year, we sit with this wonderful administrator and some of our department heads, and we gotta buy stuff every year, and it goes up. Air conditioning, HVAC, roofs. We have female officers over there. I don't know I'm not sure, maybe I should know this, and if I don't know something, I'll always tell you. I'll always tell you if I don't know the answer. I'll call you on your cell phone the next day, try to get it. I don't know where they change over there, right? So I want these facilities to be updated. I want to expand our tax base and change the face of our commercial corridors, because that's what should be here, commercial businesses to offset some of your taxes. Some of our neighbors to the north, in this county and outside of this county, have significant percentages, and maybe Mr. Kennis can help me out, of their population and coalition of affordable housing. Because of the work Mr. Kennis has done and some of the other folks here, years before I got here, because these gentlemen served on land use boards, they've negotiated down to a fraction. These are good people. And the police will tell you, they're not they get aspersions cast on them. That's unfair. These are good people. Our first round over here, right behind this building, some of those good folks were Sandy displaced people. They're our neighbors. They're great, great people. Police aren't at those places any more than they're at some other places. That should be said, because I don't want to cast aspersions on them. But the state requires us to do this on main thoroughfares. It's unfair to the municipalities and our zip codes here. But I can tell you,
Affordable housing.
our population of affordable housing is significantly less than certain other towns, who will go unnamed because we have great relationships with those towns. But we've managed our land here well. I'm proud of what we're doing, and we're good stewards. We have skin in this game too. I don't want to be long-winded, but look at other towns. Look at how much we can drive for 5 miles straight. It's very difficult to build out there. It's all protected. Conversely, you go to Toms River, Lakewood, or Bricktown, there's very little of that. There's concrete and blacktop everywhere.
And you say you want to change the face of our town, well, then we're going to look the same way. And that's why we live here, because we don't want to look like that.
We can't
I
build
drive
in
to
most of the
Brick
town, ma'am.
Many a day, and I don't want to live there. And I have sympathy and concern about affordable housing. Because my son is visually impaired, so he doesn't drive. And I know about the housing has to be someplace that Access Link can get to these people to pick them up. I realize that. But I still don't want my town to look like brick. And if you want, you yourself just said you want to change the face of our town. Well,
No, I want to create business ratables.
it
We
changes the
can't
face
look
of
like
our
brick.
town if you're going to bring businesses in here. Already, we have many businesses on Lacey Road, and then we put up barricades so you can't get into the businesses. So I don't see that is a plus. And back to basics, it is about the money. Millions of dollars is a lot of money to the residents of this town. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
This lady hasn't talked yet. Come on down. Hello. State your name for the record, please.
My name is Stephanie Fernandez, and I live on Beach Boulevard.
Don't need to know that.
It doesn't matter. I don't mind. I had a couple of questions, and I'm not going to be dictating anything. You give me direction, and I'll take care of it myself. There were just a couple of observations. I've lived here, I believe it's about 3.5 years now. It flew by. So a couple of observations I've made that I want to address and correct, if I can assist in any way. I drive to work every single day, and I've noticed on Lacey Road how busy the road is. And I've seen a few fender benders and a few almost occurrences here and there. People trying to turn into Dunkin' Donuts. There is a major backup in the morning. How can we correct that from happening again? Because let me tell you, I've gotten hit in the back a few times, and I don't want it to happen again. How can we stop that backup in Dunkin' Donuts, which should have never been a driveway, a drive-through? I really think, if anything, if we were to have a drive-through for that particular area, could we have them going through the back versus Lacey? Because I swear to you, I am not lying.
No, we know.
It backs up.
We know.
We
We
know.
know.
Yeah, we know.
I mean,
So what
that-
happened, so that was on the zoning board, and what tends to happen in applications, again, as a zoning board, so the residents came out and objected to a rear exit off out the rear of that, so.
So it's better to have people to get into
Well,
accidents?
this is
We
what, it
have
becomes
to balance safety.
it becomes a give and take.
Safety.
It becomes a give and take.
Police are aware, they write those folks, and what I've even seen living right there behind that, not far behind that Dunkin' Donuts, is I'm looking at the light at the corner of Lake Barnegat and Lacey Road, it's bright green, but the person in front of me wasn't making the right. She or he was timing the movement of the traffic off Lacey Road so they could get into the Dunkin' Donuts. I was furious. I'm Italian and I'm from New Jersey.
am I.
But I had to remind myself I was an elected official and I couldn't give any salutes.
You know, you can only tolerate so much, but.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I love being here, I love this town. There's just certain things that I would love to assist in correcting, if we can, for safety concerns.
Police are aware.
There are certain, so
police
how do we
very aware.
address that? We can't let that go.
So,
Technically, they're not supposed to pull over and wait.
yeah,
Not
I
supposed to be
mean,
in the lane of
it's the
There's a
dri-
backup.
Again, they're
It's
supposed
the
to-
drivers,
they're supposed
so
to ticket them and
we're
But the
gonna,
police,
we could address,
I'm sure they have plenty of other things to concern themselves with, and this is a daily routine
Yes.
that occurs daily. How can we correct this?
by handing out tickets.
hand
So
Yeah.
we'll talk to the chief this week again. We've tried this before. It works for a little while, and then
It does,
it
we
works for a
don't,
little
it
while.
does work
but-
for a little
but we
bit, we
can't
get them to
plan-
stop.
we hand out about 3 or 4 tickets, and then for the next 5 or 6 weeks, it's.
I have to tell you,
Yeah, exactly.
just from personal experience, I have built many times in my lifetime. I have gone through so many hoops to make sure that there were safety precautions, traffic controls, so all kinds of tests, all kinds of proving how it would benefit, right? So how did Dunkin' Donuts get placed there with a drive-through going through Lacey when everything is going in and out of Lacey? I am telling you, when I'm driving, you need to be alert because I am getting constantly cut off. So please, I beg of you, if you put any businesses here, do not have them come out of Lacey because it's enough. I mean, we've got to refocus on this because it is a continuous. This is the only way I can go because if I could avoid it, I would. But where I need to get to, I have no choice.
I mean, understand this, when they put the, and I was on the Board of Adjustments at the time, I was chairman of it at that time. They did bring a traffic study in. We forced them to bring a traffic study in. And their traffic engineers
Right.
stood there and said, this is not going to be a problem. Now, 6, 7 years later, guess
It's a
what?
huge
It's a problem.
So
What do we do?
we can't turn over, we can't
So-
turn and have a constant, like, if you would like me to, I will go to the police station and get reports and show you how many
we
accidents were
get
reported.
reports.
If
We
it
get-
can
we get-
assist
We monitor
you.
that. We
We get
If
that.
it,
We get
if
the
it can
reports.
assist you,
We'll
I will
talk-
do the legwork.
We'll talk to the chief again. We will. And they'll write the tickets, and it'll stop for a period of time, and then, you know, it'll come back. They'll just, it's just,
It's really people. They shouldn't be stopping. I mean, that's-
right,
Common sense.
Common sense would tell them not to stop.
right.
Let me tell
And one
you.
of the things this board did do, Ms. Fernandez, is you'll notice on Lacey Road now, there's that that blockade. People
Well,
were
thank you
making
for
lefts.
that.
They were
Thank you
making,
for that.
thank the county
Thank
for
you
that.
for that.
It's County Road
Because I've watched
614.
people making the turns.
When they
Yeah.
first put up the
Cutting
yellow
us
poles,
off.
they're plastic
People were
yellow.
driving right over
Yeah.
them with trucks.
I saw them
They
do
would
that.
just
They
drive right through it.
damaged
They
them.
didn't care, so then
And
the
then you put
county had
more
to
in.
go and put the. Yeah.
I have been watching.
So we've been proactive.
Yeah, I do see that.
And one of the things, and I'll tell you, at Starbucks, I don't, and you see the line wraps around the building. One of the things that Starbucks wanted when they came before the board here was to still have that driveway
denied that.
out on Manchester Avenue there. So could you, and that's where they wanted people to come in. So we
Yeah.
would have had the same issue on Manchester Avenue. And this
I-
board
I'll
would
say-
not allow it. And Starbucks even threatened to, will not come into town, and the
I
planning
could go
board
on
was
a
like,
tangent
okay.
on this stuff. This is right in my wheelhouse. But this is when it matters. Is when you do your town and you develop your town, you have to have people on these boards. Like I said, we have trouble. Mr. Bignick came up before. I say we have trouble keeping people on boards. Sometimes we don't always get the right people on boards because they don't have the experience. But this stuff is so important, and people take it for granted.
You
But
know,
the planning board does a great job. I'll say that. The planning
Drive up
bo-
and down Route
Not
9,
bad.
look at our Route 9 corridor, and then just look at other towns. I love the other towns. We've planned our area very, very well. People can talk about the traffic or Walmart and how long it takes to get to Beach Boulevard. Take a look at some of the other towns,
I
from the
do.
north part of
One of the
9 down.
problems-
I'd take us all day long.
I am in and out of every single county, 4 different counties. I am well aware.
And one of the problems we have is that new Waretown building, apartments that went up on 9.
Yeah.
They gotta come out this way and get outlawed on Lacey Road to get to the Parkway if they're going north. You know, they're not going back down south and all the way out that way. They just don't do it. I talked to the mayor about it a couple of times, and he's like, that's how they go.
All right, so that's one of my comments, and I was hoping that that would be addressed. My other comment was, I was wondering, Forked River Park, as far as the time it opens and times it
Bayfront Park?
closes.
Bayfront.
Bayfront?
Yeah.
Okay.
My question is, how did the time get changed? Because I know when I first bought, it would used to close earlier. Now it's closing at 10 p.m.
Goes to dusk, doesn't it?
Dusk.
It's, I
10
think we did 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Would you like to share? Would you like me to
Surely.
share
So
what
you're here tonight
happens?
speaking about this, and we've had.
Would
years
you
ago
like me
now,
to
several
share my
residents back-
experiences
Back and forth.
living in that area? Would you like me to tell you some
Sure.
stories? Because it is not pretty. Why would a park be opened that late at night?
Well, technically, all of our parks are open late at night because we don't really have a way to secure and lock them up 100%.
Right.
Like the walk
That's the
gates and
problem.
stuff don't have, like Gilly Park's, like Gilly Park, the whole one side on Manchester is wide open.
Wide open.
Hebrew Park is open at night. Like, while we say dawn to dusk and we set established hours for Bayfront Park, we don't lock
Yeah,
them up.
dawn to dusk is standard, I
Yeah,
thought.
but we
But
had
why-
residents
why
here
do
that
we
were,
go
that came
over?
from that area that were very passionate with, well, I get home
To
from
go
work-
later?
Yeah, and to walk with flashlights and stuff like that.
Wow,
Right, Yep.
wow.
And the other problem.
And those residents are not using it right now. You want me to tell you
Yeah,
who's
the-
using them right now? People that like to go in there and drink and leave their bottles, and I have to pick them up? People that are
Well, thank you for
rendezvousing?
that,
but
Well,
you
I
don't
have
have
to,
to do
because
that,
I
yeah.
live here.
The other
But,
problem was.
come
when-
on.
The other problem was when we had to close at dusk, dusk, we would get calls that there's people in the park. Now, our police at that time wasn't as big as it is now. They were going down there and or they're trying to get down there, but they had other things that were more higher priority, domestic cases, automobile accidents, whatever. Chasing people out of a park is not a high priority.
Well, that's why I'm
Right, so-
asking, why wouldn't we keep it where it would
Because our
close at a
police will
certain
always be
time?
down,
so-
because the people that will always be down there, as soon as dusk hits, as soon as it gets dark, and some kid walks by, or a couple goes out for a walk late at night, they're on the phone, they want the police down there to chase them out.
This is the
Oh,
same.
that's why.
Yep, and so our police are going down there, by the time they get down there, you know how,
They're
they're
out.
they're already out. So
They're
it
out,
just,
yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense anymore.
This is problems all over the country. People have a lot of disrespect, you know, they shouldn't be leaving trash. We run into this problem all the time. People aren't picking up after themselves. Yeah, nobody likes to follow the rules anymore, we'll say.
It's not,
So what would you think would be a solution?
You should not, you close it earlier, allowing people to maybe visit there when it's daylight, and the things that they're doing in there that they don't see at night. it would stop.
But they're still gonna disobey the rules, like,
Right.
if you
They're
had a problem in here, is what
Kids,
we're
you know,
saying.
They're still
somebody
gonna
wants to
enter
stop-
the
Yeah, on
Somebody wants to
property.
drink.
you know, on a Saturday.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I
Kids are out on
gotcha.
kids are out on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock, they're going in that park no matter what. No matter what we do. You may call them, by the time the cops get down there,
Yeah,
they're
for
out
a
of
long
there.
time, I don't even know what happened. The Gilly Park bathrooms were getting vandalized like weekly.
Yes.
I don't think they caught them or they finally slowed down. Like,
Well, some of them were juveniles, so we
Yeah.
did catch the last bit of juveniles who, you know, they're porcelain toilets and sinks. I don't know how they busted them.
Yeah,
They had to
so
go in with
this is
sledgehammers.
you know, this is just
And the
a-
stuff that
That's
they
just
try to put.
mischief, though. That's
Yeah, and
just-
these were 13 and 14-year-olds.
That's
And of
sad.
course, you know,
Sad.
you speak to the
That's sad.
parents about it, and it's like, we
Yeah, I
are the
mean,
ones
this
that
is-
did
We're
something
bad
wrong,
people.
because
It's just a problem.
we want to get restitution for this.
So it basically is open till 10 because there were residents
Yeah,
that
it was a
wanted
kind
it
of a
open
give
till
and take
10?
with the residents
Right.
down there at the time, because a lot
Right.
of them
The
said.
residents asked for it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And it was probably before you were living there, I think.
Yes, you only been there
No,
3.
it wasn't, because when I moved in there, it was closed earlier, and then all of a sudden, I saw the sign change,
Okay.
and I said, when did that happen?
Yeah, no, we had a bunch of people sit right here and yell at us.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay, well, now it makes a
so
lot
if
of
you
sense.
get more people that want it to close.
So how can I change it back? What do I do? Do you want me to bring the bottles in and show them to you? Will that
I
help?
would get some neighbors that maybe want to,
Yeah.
Pick up a couple of the rubbers
that
and the
wanna come
bottles
with
and
you,
say,
get on
hey,
your
guys,
side."
can we do this? Can we fix this?
how about getting a couple of your neighbors
Well, I
to
will
come
tell
in?
you that, like, the next battle that we have right now going on with Bayfront Park is to mow or not to mow. Okay,
That is the question.
that is the question, right?
That's $150.
So, there are very
I
passionate.
thought it was to be able to secure your property so your
So
house
now,
doesn't
so
wash
now
away.
that section of Bayfront
But what do I
Park-
know?
That section of Bayfront Park that we can't mow from May 1st to October 15th, you know, there are residents that are very passionate that on October 16th, we should be out there mowing, right? So, again, we have been, but there's other residents that say, wait a minute, you were mandated by a state permit to plant X type of flowers and vegetation in there, right? For the betterment of the area, whether it's the birds, the bees, the monarch butterflies, the turtles to be able to come in there, lay their nests, and then get back out. So now there's a group of people that, well, for the purposes of the birds, the bees, the butterflies, we should allow those vegetation to stay natural, not to mow it and to let it be natural and let the habitat take over what it's supposed to do, and to also protect the shoreline and the further erosion of the land, because even though it's a little bit inland, the wind does blow the sand away, so you need to have something to secure the sand. There are people there that would like to sand that whole thing and make it a beach, like it's their backyard of Island Beach State Park. Well, it's never going to happen.
By the park side?
Yeah, in that middle area there, as you go in, you
Where
have the
it's-
playground equipment and all
Where
that
it's
area.
tarred, where the walkway is.
Yeah,
blacktop?
on the inside of the walkway. So now in the spring, we plan on having another meeting, and we're getting Save Barnegat Bay, we're gonna get Fish and Wildlife, and we're going to start to educate the residents there, because right now, I'm not mowing. We're not going to mow. Now, you as a resident, you're gonna mow, you're gonna get a notice of violation because it's our property and you're trespassing. But we're trying to assist, you know, the wildlife there and to try to just make peace with all the neighbors, and we can't seem to win.
You know the irony of this, and the other people have said this too. At the Department of Environmental Protection, years ago, when they were concerned about mosquitoes in pooling ponds, and they would tell, and they actually sent out, I could find it somewhere, a press release says, keep your lawn cut short. We don't want to encourage any infestation with mosquitoes. It grows back anyway. I'm in favor of mowing it. I'm just putting it out there right now from a public health standpoint, because I think
Because
it's
of
healthier.
mosquitoes. I
Yes.
get it.
And they are vectors, and on a very rare occasion, we've picked up dead birds around the county that had West Nile virus. Those dead birds are bitten by mosquitoes. So I'm for that. Now, they say you can't cut from the prime mowing season from the early spring to October. So which is it? Should we take care of our property and stop mosquito-borne vector transmission of possible disease sometimes? Or should we, so I'm for cutting it. I don't think that would do any harm at all. We've been very compliant in environmental regulations. We have crushed clamshell walkways down there that are.
No, we
that
don't.
are-
No. I just
There's not I
said,
walked on clamshell.
no, I just said, it's tarred. It's a tarred walkway.
It's a hard surface.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised. All right, I
Oh, yeah,
stand-
no,
I
that's
stand
what I'm
corrected.
trying to say.
You stand corrected.
Mayor.
Go ahead. Mayor, order.
What's that?
Good.
Order.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, again, it's just trying to balance between all the residents. It's not always an easy thing to do.
But as far as the time change, you might want to grab a couple of your neighbors that
Yep.
maybe are on the same page as you, and if you bring in some people, maybe we can talk about this
Yep.
time
All right,
change, okay?
that's great.
I
And that's
wanna
what I'm looking
publicly
for.
apologize
Suggestions
for
of how I can
acquiring
assist.
that piece of open space.
And you know, he took.
That was you?
No,
That was you?
He took us back and
Thanks a
sued
lot.
us, he got more money. He did
Listen,
sue us
I
to
don't
get more
mind
money.
picking up the garbage, but the noise,
Yep.
it's a little much.
Yep.
But anyway, I mean, I was a kid before too, but
Yes.
anyway, long time ago. My last question is on Beach Boulevard. Great Street, we got to do something about the speeding there. And can we do something about the signs? Like, there's really no signage out there, like pedestrian signs, just follow the curb signs. I mean, it's pretty curvy there, and there's been accidents there. I'm sure you guys are aware of that, right? So what are we going to do? What should we do? What can I do? Do you want me to fill out forms?
What is the speed limit there now?
Oh, gosh, it depends. It's
depends on
different
the
areas.
section.
Well, it does,
yeah.
and it's based
like
on- it's based-
35,
It's based on a
35
survey.
to
35,
25
25.
It's based on a survey and traffic
Right.
flow. Majority of
But-
that is a
okay.
county road.
But wait a second. There's no signage. Like, anytime you go to curb, there are no warnings, no signage.
Those are some
I'm
easy,
constantly calling for the lights out because I just think it's ridiculous. I get home so late, I can't even see people walking. It's pretty bad.
the
And I'm-
signage thing for the curve ahead or whatever, even speed limit
What do we
signs are
do
an
with that?
easy fix. I just have to ask the county because it's a county road.
So I have to reach out to the county and...
We can reach out to the county.
You
We don't-
can reach out to
yeah,
the
we can
county?
reach out to the
Okay, so none of the curbs have signage to show you that you need to be turning, which I think is terrible at night. And,
It's also this light, Veronica, put that on, because it's funny, I just
What do you
noticed.
mean?
oh my Lord, I am constantly calling on
From
these
the
lights.
section
Right,
when
the
you come
streetlights get called into us.
Okay, well, so from the section you come over the bridge to.
The first bridge.
Right, first bridge, when you come over heading home from me, say, right? Till you get to where the road divides to inland.
Oh, yeah.
It's completely black there.
But even by
I don't know
the,
what, there doesn't seem
the
to be
Elks
lights
Club,
on.
too,
Right, that's what I just said,
completely
that whole
dark.
section in there is all dark.
Yeah.
There is no lights on in that whole section.
and I am constantly calling, but they keep going out. So, and
Yeah, if
it's
you call them
really
in,
bad at night.
and JCP, you have to call them in on a certain day of the
I
week,
go
and they have so
online.
many, yeah, you could do
I-
it
I do
online.
it all
They have so
online.
many days to fix it, so they don't want you calling it in on Fridays, and you only really should call it in on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I just don't get this world anymore.
But there's a lot of walkers, a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of walkers there.
A
You're
lot
on
of
bikers, a lot
bikers, and I
Dog
just
walkers.
don't want anything to happen,
There's
so,
really no shoulder.
right. There aren't definitely no shoulders there. So can we do something? Can we put signs out to kind of forewarn people that there are people riding their bikes or people?
Well, there's no
walking?
signs for
There's
bicycle
like no signs
riding
around.
thing, yeah, but we could do curve ahead, and we could do some pedestrian
Or
signs.
something on the road, or, just showing bikers, something to help people from getting hit. Because it's not good. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. We good?
We're good.
All right, thank
you
you.
good?
Are you
I'm
good?
good.
Are you good?
That's it, that's all I
Come
gotta say.
come back again.
Thank
Come
you
back
very
again.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
All right, the closer, come on.
Yeah.
Going to the right here.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Bender? Because I saw you looking a couple times at things we were saying.
Yeah, where's their transportation in Lacey Township, mass transportation?
Well, a bus, we're talking about the buses on Route 9.
Bus? Bus.
Right.
Yeah,
That's-
it's
that's
From
so-
Lakewood
Well, we
to
still have
Atlantic
that, 'cause
City.
Even with VetWorks, that was one of his biggest concern, where I was putting him, he needed to know that he could get his folks off a bus and close enough they wouldn't have to
Does
walk
that bus
too
even
far.
go to the Toms River terminals or just run to Lakewood? Because I know it runs to Lakewood.
He runs to
The
Thompson.
559?
Yeah.
I don't know where that goes exactly.
No, I mean, I've said to people here, if you're a senior citizen in Lacey Township, okay, and they take your license away, you got a problem. Because there's, I mean, the train ends at Bayhead.
Ocean Ride has a line. I sit on their transportation board. I don't know the name of the line, but Ocean Ride has a line.
Yes, they take him to
I sit on the
ShopRite and
county
everything
board.
else.
Because there was seniors that I dealt with where, isn't there like waiting and you have to reserve ahead of time and
Yeah, I
whatever?
think it's an on-demand.
You do it from
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
phone. It's called,
Yep.
it's called Reserve a Ride.
Appointments, hospitals.
Anyway, that's not what I came up to talk about.
Okay.
Richard and the young lady here mentioned something about traffic and construction with the traffic, and I have a strong interest, I guess you would think I would, where those townhouses are going. And my question is, I don't know if you guys are the right people to ask, or the planning board, or whatever, but right now, coming out of that street, and I won't say the name, people making there've been,
If you looked at the plans, you'll see that there will be no more site obstruction there.
because there's site obstruction now, so they're going to move back.
100%. So it's going to be along,
Where is the plan? Is here? I can see it.
you could go to Community Development, 124 South Main Street to
Oh,
look at
okay.
the plans.
Yeah, that's closer to
And
me.
the buildings are along the back area adjacent to the marina.
Gotcha. Okay. Because that was a concern. It's, I mean, you know it's really bad
No,
there.
it actually
Barry,
cleans up the corner.
Yeah, I just have a problem with everything. I said, you've been here, you come to these meetings all the time. You know, you were fully versed in how the township works. Why didn't you go to the zoning board meeting when that would have been the proper time
I
to
didn't know it
address
was
any
going
concern?
on.
How do you did know when it's going on? You've been at these meetings forever. You know
was
when.
all over
Yeah, I said,
Facebook,
you know,
too,
that
on
I said, you've been here for how many years? You don't know when the planning board meetings are, or.
Oh, I know when,
or-
what, you want me to come
Wait,
to
so
all
wait,
the
no, no.
planning board
Do
meetings?
you know, so wait, do you don't know how to find out when these meetings are? I'm sure you're smart enough to
But if I
figure it out.
didn't know that there was something going on, how do I know to go to that planning board
You
meeting?
must read these
agendas are put
agendas.
up
It's on the
On
agendas.
the website.
It's on the agenda.
The agendas are on the website.
Are you on
No.
so you're not on the email, Nation?
I'm on the email for here.
All right, but there's emails for the planning board.
That's beside the
zoning board,
point. You
and
know the
she
zoning
does
board
post
meetings
them.
are once a month. I don't know, the second Wednesday or first Wednesday.
It's
How
You've
often
been here
do-
for the
the
time.
first month.
How often do I come to a planning board meeting?
Very rare.
Every blue
Yeah,
moon, when
very
somebody tells me, hey, something's going
That's in
on.
your neighborhood. That's on your corner.
I had, until I saw it in the patch, I had no idea.
This is the problem.
it
I
was
said,
going
we
on.
get yelled at because we're not
No, I'm not
transparent.
yelling
No,
at-
I know.
I'm
But no,
not-
I'm not
whoa,
yelling. No, you're not
You want me
yelling.
to yell, I'll yell.
You're not yelling. I'm just saying, we're not being transparent, but these
No,
meetings
no,
are
I'm not
held-
saying you're not
just-
being transparent.
I know
We
you're
know
not.
you didn't
I'm just
say it.
saying in general.
Okay.
We get blamed for not being transparent. We do everything in public. We have public meetings all the time. That would have been the opportunity to address whatever concerns you had. That get voted on at the zoning board, I think this last month, the last
I think it
meeting.
was last meeting.
The last meeting. So that, it's
I was
already,
here.
the horse is
Oh,
out
the
of the
last
barn.
planning board meeting, not
The
this
last
meeting.
zoning board. Zoning
Okay.
board. We have nothing to do with it at this level.
Right, no, that's what I said, this may be the wrong place to bring, didn't I say that?
You did. And I was-
Okay.
It's too late now.
Barry,
Yeah.
who else would be our closure if you didn't come here?
That's right.
They want me at the planning board, I guess.
Oh.
Zoning board.
Zoning board, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
That was-
Zoning Board of Adjustment is the
You're our
official name.
You are
You're
our
our
closer.
closer.
So it had to
Right.
go to the zoning board.
We're gonna play Sandman next time.
But as far as the intersection of Route 9 and that street, because they're farther back, there's not gonna be any,
No, it actually cleans up the site really nice.
Yes, real nice.
It's really gonna be
Yeah,
a
that
nice
building's
but I
being
could
knocked
go
down.
up the road, what used to be the library, and see
the
what,
MUA building.
Yeah.
the post office.
that was the library at
Go
one
get
time.
yourself an ice cream cone afterwards.
Did really go to Mrs. Walker's. Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public?
Seeing none, motion to close the floor.
Move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Resolution,
Wait.
No, oh,
Resolution 2023-302, resolution in Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the convening of an executive session in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
Move it.
all in favor?
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor McDonald?
Yes. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
All right. Thank you.
Nope.
We're out of here.
No further business.
We're out of here.